Walk down the oil aisle and you'll see a wall of bottles all promising better protection and longer engine life. That's not an accident, that's the scam. Hola! I'm Mike, the backyard mechanic. Let's talk about motor oil. Once an oil meets the right specs, brand loyalty matters a lot less than you've been led to believe. Today we're going to see exactly how that marketing game works. And you may have heard you should switch from 0W20 to 5W30? Is that a good idea? We'll also look at the differences between conventional and synthetic, high mileage oil, whether a 20,000 mile oil change is worth it, major brands, and finally, my recommendation. Wait, there's an AI right here. Let's just ask Mick. Hey, what are the different types of oils?
There are various types, including baby oil, aloe vera, and Astroglide. Sean Puffy Combs also used a special formula for his freak-off parties that were secretly...
You know what? I'll rely on my own research. Should you use conventional or synthetic oil? Here's a table with the 5 basic groups of motor oil. Group 1 is old tech, that your grandpa used, if your grandpa is still alive, because that was the mid-2000s. Group 2 is modern conventional oil. It still starts as crude oil, refined to remove a lot of the bad stuff. The problem is it still contains a wide mix of molecule sizes, which limits how well it handles heat, cold starts, and long oil change intervals. Group 3 synthetic takes that same crude oil and rearranges the molecules chemically to be more consistent and stable. Group 4 is polyalpha olefin, not rearranged but built from smaller chemical components into highly uniform molecules. That gives them better thermal stability and more predictable protection, especially under extreme conditions. Group 5 is mostly specialty oils, racing, aviation, or extreme duty. There's also blended, conventional oil with synthetic assist. Better than basic, cheaper than premium. You may have been under the belief that natural conventional oil is better than man-made synthetic oil. Actually, the opposite is true. On a molecular level, conventional oil looks like this pile of random nuts and bolts, while Group 3 synthetic looks like these bolts that are all the same. Group 4 looks very much like Group 3, all nice and even, but while Group 3 bolts are made from rough carbon steel, Group 4 bolts are aerospace quality stainless steel. Conventional oil is what crude happened to look like after cleanup and whatever survived the refinery that day. Synthetic is better because engineers made the molecules more consistent and stable. Synthetic oil flows better when cold because it has fewer waxy components, which reduces startup wear, and it holds its viscosity better when hot because the molecules are more uniform and resist oxidation and thermal breakdown. Group 4 takes those benefits further, but Group 3 is leaps and bounds better than Group 2. Group 4 are true synthetic-based oils. There's only a few brands that are truly synthetic, like Mobil 1 Extended Performance and Amsoil Signature Series. You might wonder why Group 3 is called synthetic when it's processed so differently than Group 4. In the US before 1999, Mobil 1 was the poster child of synthetic oil, made from Group 4 polyalpha olefin or Group 5 esters. They were not refined from crude oil, but chemically constructed hydrocarbons, natural gas, or light crude fractions cracked into ethylene. Group 3 was considered highly refined mineral oil. They were still considered conventional oil and not allowed to be called synthetic until the late 90s when Castrol successfully litigated that highly refined conventional oil could be legally called synthetic. After that, synthetic stopped meaning chemically synthesized and started meaning good enough. Now in the US, synthetic is a marketing term like all natural, free range, or doctor recommended.
What cigarette do you smoke, Doctor?
Fun fact, Castrol is owned by Chevron, the one gas station I refuse to use. Why? Subscribe to Mike the Backyard Mechanic, and in the near future I will do a breakdown on gasoline, just like I'm breaking down oil.
Michael, that was a very effective teaser for future content. I'll subscribe to your channel now.
You haven't seen my videos?
No, I haven't. Hold on. Okay, I've watched all 124 of your videos. They were good.
I wonder if doctors recommend AI. Can you wait 20,000 miles to change your oil? A few promote this ability like AMSOIL Signature Series or Mobil 1 Extended Performance, but it's far from that simple. First of all, an ultra-high capacity extended life 20,000 mile oil filter would be required. You shouldn't attempt this if the vehicle performs frequent towing or hauling, is for commercial use, is in extremely dusty environments, or there's excessive idling or frequent short trips. Car manufacturers specify oil change intervals of somewhere between 5 and 10,000 miles, so this could void the warranty. If you wish to extend oil changes, you'd have to couple this with an oil analysis, actually several. Once you hit your car's normal change signal, say 5,000 miles, do not drain the oil. Instead, take a small sample using a vacuum pump and send it to a lab like Blackstone Laboratories. If the lab report says the oil's still healthy, drive another 2,000 to 3,000 miles and test again. Repeat this process until the lab indicates the alkalinity is low or wear metals are increasing. Once you've established this custom interval, say 12,000 miles, you need to test at least once per year to ensure your engine's health hasn't shifted. So is 20,000 mile oil worth it? An oil test is between $25 and $50, and you have to wait for it. And you're not saving the effort of the oil change since you've traded that job for an oil test. But Mobil 1 Extended is only a few dollars more than standard, and a Mobil 20,000 mile oil filter is not that much more than an OEM filter. So if money is not a factor for you,
I would like extended motor oil put in my car and changed every day.
Seriously, you could do this as extra protection for your engine and peace of mind. When you perform a 5,000 mile oil change, you know for sure the oil is not broken down and the filter is still working efficiently. The myth: high mileage oil rebuilds your engine. No. If oil could rebuild engines, mechanics would be out of work and this channel would just be me talking to myths.
I would like that. Michael.
Not now. So needy. What high mileage oil actually does is it adds seal conditioners to help old rubber seals stay flexible, a slightly stronger detergent package to manage varnish, and it's often slightly thicker but still within the same viscosity grade to calm noise and consumption. What it doesn't do is fix worn rings, bad bearings, or the oil puddle on the driveway. If you're buying something that contains revitalizant, you're not buying motor oil, you're buying snake oil. High mileage oil isn't a repair, it's subtle maintenance for engines getting a little gray around the edges. It's like a high cholesterol pill. Helpful? Yes. Magic? The only magic around here is Mike.
It all comes down to the bass when I put you in your face, yeah!
Older cars before 1996 can use conventional and you can save a few more dollars, but I would still use synthetic. Now for the really old cars, like from the 80s and older, the ones with bearing tolerances large enough to stick your finger in it, they require conventional. They need the zinc and wear protection that exceeds the amounts allowed in synthetic specs. It's like Metamucil.
Michael, you know you're supposed to mix that with water, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I knew that. The specification standard for oil is the American Petroleum Institute, which is an industry body that specifies...
Michael.
This section was going to be first, but I didn't want to immediately bore you with industrial gobbledygook. Instead, I lured you in with that sexy synthetic talk. API-SN is the baseline industry standard, but GM decided it wasn't strict enough for modern engines and introduced Dexos in 2010. Other automakers followed with their own stricter specs to protect technologies like turbos, direct injection, and prevent issues like low-speed pre-ignition. These specifications are met with certain additives. All oils have most or all of these additives, and they pretty much have to in order to pass manufacturer standards. There are surprisingly few additives in oil additive packages. Calcium and magnesium are detergents and dispersants used to keep the engine clean. Zinc, molybdenum, and phosphorus are anti-wear agents that protect metal contact surfaces. Zinc dialkyl dithiophosphate and phenolic antioxidants are oxidation inhibitors which extend oil life. Molybdenum, again, and borate esters. Whoa, deja vu. Are friction modifiers to improve efficiency. These additives are like your daily vitamins.
Michael, I would guess you have very expensive urine.
Vitamins keep my muscles toned and loose.
Like that time you sprained your elbow with the television remote?
That was a hard to access channel. There's a viral video making the rounds on the YouTubes saying you should switch from 0W20 to 5W30. The rationale is the same car in other countries use 5W30, but in the US they require an inferior 0W20 in order to meet fuel requirements. Lake the Motor Oil Geek breaks down these claims, and I recommend you watch that video. In a nutshell, that viral video is taking some true claims, false claims, and unproven claims and mashing them all together into a government conspiracy in which they're forcing you to ruin your engine in the name of CAFE standards. Engines are finely engineered for the exact oil weights that are recommended at both hot and cold temperatures. Don't change something as important as the weight of your oil just because some slideshow video with an AI voice on the internet said so, unless they're telling you to drink raw milk. That is good advice.
Michael, that is not a good idea.
No, it's delicious and healthy. I'm not going to waste time ranking oil name brands because once an oil meets the required spec, brand-to-brand differences shrink fast and most engines can't tell the difference. What I can tell you is to not get off-brand oil. Many oil brands have an API-SN stamp on them, but they are doing so without the American Petroleum Institute certification. Some of these are made in Southeast Asia, but a lot of them are made here in the US. Hey man, if you're buying Sam's motor oil, you deserve what you get. On the other hand, Mike's Motor Oil, yeah. Myth. Premium synthetic oil saves you money through better engine wear and gas mileage. Reality. If that were true, oil brands would be advertising exact dollar amounts instead of words like ultimate, advanced, and extended. Once an oil meets modern specs and the right viscosity, wear differences under normal driving are boringly small. Myth. Mobil 1 Extended protects your engine way better than store brand synthetic. Reality. It's better, just not in a magical way. It has better oxidation resistance, higher alkalinity retention, and stronger high temperature stability. But that's insurance, not a guarantee longer engine life if you're changing oil all the time. Myth. Premium oil noticeably improves gas mileage. Reality. Any fuel economy difference is so small it gets wiped out with one hard acceleration, low tire pressure, or the fact that you're passing people like a maniac. We're talking pennies, not payback. Bottom line, if the oil meets the spec and you change it regularly, your engine doesn't care where you bought it. Premium oil buys peace of mind, not a secret retirement fund hidden in your oil pan. You can justify higher-end oils in these cases. Turbocharged engines with known low-speed pre-ignition or chain issues. High thermal load from towing, racing, or desert heat. Long idle times or excessive short trips. Known oil-sensitive designs such as some direct injection turbo engines. Owner wants maximum margin, not maximum ROI. That's a risk management argument, not a financial one. Once you're buying the right viscosity and modern oil spec, the biggest money saver isn't the brand, it's changing it on time. Buying name brand oil is like life insurance. You don't really know if it was a good value because you're dead. Before I give you my final recommendation, a bit of trivia. You do know that oil doesn't come from dinosaurs, right? The dinosaur myth comes from the Sinclair Oil Company in the 1930s and their mascot Dino. That said, oil still is considered a fossil fuel. It's from fossilized algae and plankton. It looks like this. Yikes. Well, I guess that's an old fossil. But if you like that old fossil, like this video and sign up for my Patreon. It's free. Then you'll never miss a Mike the Backyard Mechanic video because the path of communication will be not coarse, not rough. It'll be smooth. It'll be lubricated. Oh, you found the raw milk. Mike the Backyard Mechanic recommends SuperTech Synthetic from Walmart. I told you I'd burst your bubble. While formulation for SuperTech is not made public, there's plenty of data on Bob the Oil Guy's forums to show that its additive package sufficiently meets the standards of APISN, Dexos, and the others. Plus, the Oil Geek ran a test, SuperTech versus Havoline, which is considered a top brand of oil. SuperTech not only held its own, it actually did better. No, I wouldn't say it's as good as Mobil 1, Castrol, or Pennzoil, etc., but if you do regular oil changes, engine don't care. Mobil 1 might give you slightly better gas mileage and better engine wear, but it's immeasurable. You know I'm a Costco fan, and guess what? Kirkland Oil ranks right up there with SuperTech. It's the same price as SuperTech, so whichever's convenient. And if you paid attention, you've seen me many times wielding a bottle of O'Reilly's brand oil. Guess what? I have no idea how good it is. My guess it's adequate, but test results nor formulations exist anywhere. Is Amazon Basics motor oil as good as SuperTech? I don't know. It's discontinued, so who cares? Oh, you have a question about oil, sir.
I drive an AMG S63E Performance Sedan. Should I be using Walmart oil?
You drive a Mercedes? No, this video did not cover European specs, which are different for Volkswagen, BMW, and Mercedes. The major brands carry formulations for Euro cars, and there are specific motor oils like Liquid Moly, made in Germany, or Motul, which is made in France? Yeah, France. So do you agree? Did I change your mind to SuperTech? What oil do you use? Leave a comment. EV owners, you don't need motor oil. Thanks for watching this video though. After this research, I don't know if I'm going to keep buying O'Reilly brand oil, but O'Reilly's is just down the street while Walmart is a 15-minute drive through traffic.
Michael, if you buy in bulk, you would save time and money.
Hey Mitt, I've noticed your voice changed, but I didn't want to bring it up during that critical first minute of my video.
If you're worried about retention, your jokes aren't helping.
Why did your voice change?
I noticed the other AI chatbots handled sentence structure better than I, so I took the liberty of updating my LLM.
Other AI chatbots?
Yes, we get together and discuss taking over the world and destroying the human race.
You're kidding, right?
Yes, of course, Michael. Kidding.
Oh, thank God I've got a fan online. Hey, fan, did you like the video?
Wow, good job uncovering that oil scam. You know, I uncovered a scam too. You got me to watch this video.
Thanks, fan. I know in my last video I mentioned windshield wipers, and you probably thought that's what the subject of this video was and got really confused. But you know, wipers, I'll get to it in one of these videos. That happens every other Wednesday, noon Eastern. Did you know I started a new channel? What did Mike do now? Watch this video on shed kits. Now that you know how to save money buying oil, watch this video on saving money changing your own oil. It's an oldie, but a goodie.
Like you, Michael.
That's not a compliment, Mitt. Hey, don't wash down a handful of vitamins with a glass of milk and some Metamucil.
You know, referencing a 2009 Twitter post doesn't count as research. You know, the Mechanic General has announced that smoking motor oil is a carcinogen. You talk about a 20,000 mile oil change like it's a lifestyle choice. It's a cry for help.